What is this?
This night has been magic.
I feel the same way too.
I got it. When I ask you out, I'll get it.
But I chose the place.
Planet Dolan. From weird men lurking in your basement to close calls with serial killers, the Planet Dolan crew reenact some of your best true stories from our subreddit about the creepiest things you've ever experienced. I'm Danger Dolan's mysterious brother, Zaraganbar.
It's annoying because it does a little click noise every time you do it, and I guess people go crazy over it.
Younger. Planet Dolan crew reenact some of your best true stories from our subreddit about the creepiest things you've ever experienced. I'm Danger Dolan's mysterious brother, Zaraganbar, and today I'll be your narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Tat8888. When Pringle was 13, he and some friends were hanging out in his basement when suddenly they heard a loud bang coming from the water boiler room. He assumed it was a mousetrap going off, so he picked up a plastic bag and got gloves to get rid of the rat, but when they opened the door, there was no mouse to be found. Pringle decided to get his dad to investigate, so he went to the boiler room with a flashlight. As soon as his dad flashed the torch into the dark room, he slammed the door shut and told Pringle to call the police. It turns out there was a man living in the boiler room. No one knows how long he'd been living there. Number 9 was submitted by Storm669. When Spinal Palm was younger, he was walking home from a friend's house one night. It was just hitting dusk and almost all sunlight had disappeared. A streetlight above him had flickered off, and he started to hear footsteps behind him. Naturally, he turned around to see who it was. What he saw was a black hooded figure, but he couldn't make out a face because it was quite some distance away. He felt uneasy, but continued on. The closer he got to home, though, the louder these footsteps got, almost as if they were coming from inside his head. He turned around once more to see the figure standing right behind him. He ran to his front door and slammed it shut. When he looked out the window to see the man, there was nothing to be found. Number 8 was submitted by Para.SUGem. When Melissa was a child, her older brothers used to tell her about an old man named Danny who lived nearby. Apparently, Danny brutally murdered his parents and now lives by himself. One day Melissa and her brothers were walking to school when they spotted Danny coming towards them. Her brothers told her not to panic, but she was too scared and hid in the bushes. When she thought he was gone, she left the bushes, but she was wrong and heard a loud growl behind her. She ran home crying. Many years later, when she was driving home, she looked out the window and saw Danny standing on the side of the road in the rain, staring directly at her. She sped home and never looked back. Number 7 was submitted by Ili Dango Doolan. When they were teenagers, Danger Dolan and his girlfriend Gooby were playing with a Ouija board. Nothing spooky happened, and they got tired, so they went to bed. But around 4 a.m., Dolan heard his bedroom door being opened. He went to wake up Gooby, but he realized she wasn't there. He laughed and called out, "Very funny, Gooby, I can see you in the corner." He could see a black outline of a person in the corner of the room standing there. It started moving closer to him. It moved right up to his face, and he could feel its breath on his cheek. After what seemed like forever, the figure turned around and walked out of the room. A few seconds later, Gooby came back in the room with a glass of water, confused why Dolan looked like he'd seen a ghost. Number 6 was submitted by Poison XO. When Hellbent was 7 years old, he had a horrible nightmare. He saw himself in a dream, but he wasn't able to interact. He was motionless and just sat there with his eyes wide open. He watched himself get up and grab a knife from the kitchen and started to slice his own arm. The cuts got deeper and deeper, and what came out of his skin wasn't blood. Maggots and bugs crawled out, and as he kept cutting himself, he turned around and faced himself. His face was missing, and you could see his eyeballs drooping out of his skull. The maggots crawled their way toward him, and they grew larger and uglier. He woke up screaming in terror. Needless to say, he didn't get much sleep the rest of the night. Number 5 was submitted by Nita Ross. A few years ago, when Ghost Toast was younger, there was a string of nights when he could hear someone or something inside his closet. For hours it would scratch and bang on the door from the inside. He was too scared to check what it was, so he stayed up until it went away, or until he unwillingly passed out from fear. Every morning he would check the closet, but nothing had moved and there weren't any scratch marks on the door. It would happen at the same time each night for several weeks, and then one night, there was nothing. It was gone. He hasn't heard it since then, and hopefully won't hear it again. Number 4 was submitted by the Stig USA cousin. Slaptam once set up a secret camera in his house because he wanted to see what his dog does when nobody's home. He was watching the live footage from his laptop when he noticed something weird. In the video, his dog was whimpering in the corner. He was trying to figure out what he was scared of when a figure walked past the camera. Nobody was supposed to be in his house. The figure appeared a few more times before disappearing. When Slaptam got home that night, he didn't find anyone in his house. In fact, the only thing that was missing was his toothbrush. Number 3 was submitted by Toxic Glow. Doopy was locked out of her house one night, so she went to every window in the house and tried to open it. None of them budged. She started to get really annoyed, so when she saw the garage window was open, she figured all she needed to do was remove the screen and climb in. She balanced on a chair to reach the window and started taking the screen off when she heard footsteps. She paused and looked in and saw a shadowy figure standing in the middle of the garage, facing away from her. She tried to take a step back and, of course, fell straight to the ground. She was pretty freaked out by what she saw, and there was nothing she could do but cry and wait for her parents to come home for 2 long hours. Number 2 was submitted by The Wolves Speak. Honeybits and Emoji once went for a walk to a local nature park when they came across a man whose eyes were almost completely black. They tried not to stare and kept walking. Honeybits noticed from the corner of her eye that he was following them, getting closer and closer. She grabbed Emoji's arm and yelled, "Run!" They hid in some trees until the man was out of sight. The next day, Emoji sent Honeybits a message telling her to turn on the news. It turns out the man following them was an escaped murderer who was caught only a few hours after they saw him in the park. They were very lucky to be alive. Number 1 was submitted by me. In high school, some friends and I decided to visit the school at midnight. We jammed the door open with a brick at the end of the day so we could get in that night. We snuck in and kept the door jammed open just in case. We were poking around a gym storage cupboard when, after a few minutes, we heard a door slam shut. It was the door we jammed open. We heard footsteps approaching and we freaked out and hid. The school didn't have any security that we knew of. Those footsteps came right towards us like they knew where we were. My heart was pounding in my chest. As it got closer, we could hear a man mumbling to himself. He sounded angry and erratic. The steps passed by and turned a corner. As soon as they did, we ran hard as we could. We never looked back. A huge thanks to the folks over on our Planet Dolan subreddit for submitting their stories. We have another question for you. What's the weirdest punishment your parents ever gave you? Let us know in the Reddit page link below and you might be featured in a future countdown. Well, that's it for this countdown, but catch you guys next time.
Goopy has a habit of biting her nails. And it's annoying because it does a little click noise every time you do it, and I guess people go crazy over it. I don't know. But she can't help it.